What is up, my friends? It's nice to see you again. Welcome back. Hello. Today's video, guys, or today's stream rather, we're going to be looking at some build crafting, some build guides. We're going to look at builds, we're going to talk about builds. I can go through for some of the other classes as well, bearing in mind I've not leveled to max level with all three classes, but we're going to start off with a Psyker. We will play some missions too to try stuff out. We're going to have a little bit of fun too. We're not just going to sit in here inside the base, but we will do a little bit of build craft, just so you can discuss through some ideas with me. Maybe you can critique my builds. Maybe I can show you some stuff, or some ways of thinking about making builds that, you know, you may not have come across yet. I think what we'll do just to get started, to sort of grease the engine a little bit, we'll get in and just play a fairly easy mission while some people sort of trickle on in. Let's load up this now. I've got no skill points at the moment invested whatsoever, so let's go in for an easy mission just to sort of ease her in gently. Now, let's load on up. Demonic Incursion, that'll do. Nice. So one thing I'll need to know from you guys is what sort of build you're going to look for. Now, I feel like the Fire Pyromancer build has kind of been done to death. And what is up, Harmon? What is up, Roll Jaeger? How you doing, my friend? Nice to see you. Nice to see you again. So, again, you let me know what you want to see and we can have a chat through and we can build some stuff together. Should be fun. We're just going to crack on through this mission in the meantime, just to sort of give people a chance to trickle on in. And again, that 40 skill point difference, I mean, it really does more or less halve your damage. It's a fair difference. I'm doing at least 50% damage just through one particular, 50% less damage just through one particular skill point. I spent 50% more damage for AoE, so it's actually very noticeable. And while some people may not be that sort of keen on the skill point system, if you spend your points wisely, 10 points will probably net you, I don't know, up to 50% damage most of the time. Yes, most of them are 1%ers, but there are other ones too that are pretty goddamn good. Harmon is indeed a Dutch name. We've got a load of Dutch in the room. That is nice. All of my viewers Dutch at the moment. In which case, hello Holland. Nice to see you. How is Dutchland doing? Is it still nice and flat over there? You know, I've never actually been to Holland. I hear good things though. I've seen nice pictures. Is Holland the one with the windmills? Sorry for breaking out the stereotypes here. Canadian. What is up, Von Piper? Nice to see you, my friend. Right. We're going to crack through this and get this out the way nice and sharpish. Just let some guys trickle on in. Just let them trickle on in, and then we'll go through some build craft. Start thinking about, guys, what you want to see in terms of builds. Do you want to talk through tanky builds? Do you want to talk through some Crusader stuff? We can go through Psyker builds, because I think at the moment they may be the sort of maybe the freshest, maybe the harder to make. Now, that being said, builds are not particularly complicated in this. You just have to do a little bit of reading. It takes a little while to make a build if you're new to a weapon. If you're not entirely sure what the weapon does or how to use it, there's certain things to look for, but we'll make it nice and simple today so you guys feel confident enough to make your own. And the nice thing about Martyr, I don't have an inoculator reset on my skill list anymore. The nice thing about Martyr is pretty much everything is viable. You know, you're going to be able to complete the game with pretty much anything you throw together. What is up, Malta? Nice to see you, my friend. Hello, OLED. Wooden shoes too. I knew it. The famous clogs. Yeah, I mean, perhaps someone can give me a little bit of a history with the wooden shoes. Why were they created, and what exactly are they for? Because it can't be for comfort, surely. Maybe I'm missing something. Holy cheese as well. I believe cheese that has holes in it is a Dutch thing. I may be wrong. Or maybe that's a Swiss thing, actually. Someone can confirm or deny that, perhaps. Right, moving on up. Remember, we can use our 2 ability to insta-pop these. Really need to actually use that ability. And we've got 2 of these left to go. Shouldn't take too long. Cracking on through. Think about what weapons you like as well, guys, because the weapons you like basically determines what the build's going to be. That is, for me at least, where you should start when you're making a build is picking a weapon first. Make the build around the weapon. If you make a build and try and pick a weapon for it, you're in for all sorts of headaches. All sorts of headaches. So think of some weapons you like. Sniper rifles, perhaps. Unfortunately, I don't think I've unlocked a lot of the decent sniper rifles at the moment. I've unlocked, I think I'm level 9 on the Assassinarino. So I've got a few. It's mainly sort of bolt gun, auto gun though at the level. But we can always do a little bit of theory craft working around that. So we'll get this mission done, out the way nice and sharpish. We'll go through some builds. I'm tempted to start with the kinetic Psyker, just because I think it's an underutilized build. I don't think many people would go with the kinetic option, given how good the pyromancy option is. Heavy melter is your fave. I don't blame you, my friend. I don't blame you. I don't think I've unlocked that for the Crusader, but I could certainly make a build around it. We can log in the Crusader. Heck, we can even make the build on the Psyker. I've got a heavy flamer and a heavy melter in my bag, so that's definitely doable. Right. I really miss not having 10% skill cooldowns on auto attack. That is such a goddamn difference. And we're going to have a little chat through the skill system too. I know it's not the most popular in the world. People look at those 1% and it just looks underwhelming, but I want to try and put forward a little bit of an argument that how it makes a difference. Like, by the time you spend 10 skill points, it makes a difference. I can make a melter pistol. Well, I can make an Inferno pistol build, which is one I used to rock with quite a lot. I did like it, actually. It was a pretty cool build. Applied loads of vulnerabilities. It was nice. It was nice. At the end of the day, though, the actual melting beam that you get just from the Psyker itself is sort of far superior than anything that little pistol can put out, and the range is the same. But, you know, sometimes in this game it is just a case of using a weapon because you like the weapon too. I completely respect people that just like doing stuff because they like the look of it. Now, let's slow a little bit of time, double our damage, and just kill this. Right, and let's get out. So that's an easy mission, done, out the way, done, dusted. Wooden shoes date from the dark Middle Ages, mainly because our Dutch farmlands are muddy and wet. Okay, fair enough. Wooden shoes for grip. I guess that kind of makes sense. I would have thought it would have less grip than leather, but no, I see where you're coming from. Nice, we've gotten a bolt pistol, so that is going to be very useful, because what we're going to do is we're going to now use that bolt pistol to make a build. Right, so first step in making a build, you make sure you actually got your damn weapon in your hand. There we go. Right, bolt pistol, in we go. So, bolt pistol is kinetic damage. That's one thing we need to know. How do we know it's kinetic damage? Well, when you hover over it, it says, if we click on that, or if we hover over there rather, you can see next to the damage DPS, it says kinetic over on the right hand side near my character. That's one thing you're going to have to bear in mind, because it's obviously going to benefit from kinetic or physical damage. The two things are the same thing. Unfortunately, the tooltips in this game are just bad. And very misleading and confusing and such. Now, when we've equipped this pistol, we're only going to get these two abilities. We're going to get single shot and we're going to get full auto. Now, you don't have to even use your pistol abilities, but if you're not going to use them, I would question why you're going to have the pistol equipped rather than just a two-hander. So let's, for the sake of argument, say we want to use our pistol lot. So we've got our single shot, we've got our full auto. My suggestion for most of these builds is that you're going to pick one. Now, they do have some similarities which you can take advantage of. The next thing to look at with this is what are all of these words next to the skill? So we've got armor breaking, assault, vulnerability, spread, single shot, single target, sorry, and then we've got salvo, assault, flesh brain. If you want to use both, you just look for the commonalities between them. So both of these are single target. So we know straight away if we max out the single target tree, it's going to benefit both. We know that this one applies a vulnerability though. which is nice. That does a little bit of extra damage. However, the actual damage of full auto is just far superior. Yes, you're going to be reloading more, but you can actually see the DPS there under the word full auto. So you can use this to get a rough estimate as to what the damage difference is between the two. So, okay, we're looking at, let's say, roughly a 30% damage increase for full auto. So that might be the one you choose to go for. However, it's not going to be applying a vulnerability. So after the third shot of single shot, it's probably then going to be doing more damage than full auto. I hope you guys are with me thus far. So that's how I would look at these damaging abilities to figure out if I want to prioritize the two. And for me personally, I would probably go for single shot because it does extra damage to enemies that are close. Fair enough. So does the other one. It also does extra damage against armoured foes, which is very, very handy. Now, full auto does more damage against unarmoured foes. However, unarmoured foes typically aren't very hard to kill. It does do increased suppression, so if you want to stun stuff, that's semi-useful. You could even work that into a build, perhaps. You could even take advantage of that high suppression damage. But for now, we're just going to go with single shot because I happen to know off the top of my head, armor breaking and vulnerability are quite easy to take advantage of, as is single target. So we've got this. We know we're going to be physical. You don't have to get a second weapon here, a staff, but you're going to need some way of dispersing warp heat. Now, in terms of what I would use as a preference for this build, I would actually use, if I can find one of the damn swords, the one that lets me teleport all over the place, just because out of the swords, it is the best. Where is the damn ether blade? Ether blade, find me an ether blade, let's go make one. So ether blade, have ye any nuts? There we go, right at the top. Isn't that handy? So why am I using this? Why am I using this? Because it's broken and it needs a nerf. But on a serious note, I do really like it. It basically allows you to teleport, it allows you to instantly blink, and while doing so, discharge heat. You don't have to target an enemy, which I think the move really should do, because otherwise it's a little bit broken. 5 heat being dispersed is quite nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to slap that in here. Yes, I'm not using the best gear I've got available. So now let's just explain while we're here. Some of the weapons will have 2 abilities. Take, for example, this staff. The swords will only have 1, so it's fairly obvious you're going to get the first 2 here. You can see they're even highlighted. And this one, you're going to have this equipped, the first one. If I were to equip the staff, you're only going to get the first equipped. If you wanted to get the second, you would need 2 of these staffs. Hope you're with me thus far. So go down to our psychic book, and now we can actually see over here what we've got going on for the psyker. Now the downside to this, and this is a downside I think, is that you only get actually 2 warp generating abilities, so you probably don't want to be using this with the passive that gives you extra damage when you're at a high warp, unless you've got something really, really spammable. Now, we said we're going for kinetic damage. Divine Shot, remember, that only applies to 1 damaging ability. Now the bolt pistol does not have any particularly high burst damage. Divine Shot we can just chuck out the window. What we definitely are going to want is, where are you? Where are you? We're going to want Foreboding, because it's just 50% damage to kinetic attacks, 20 seconds. Also reduces shot spread, so you're going to hit targets more consistently at range. So we're probably going to stick that in there. I'm going to put that as the last ability, because it's a buff I'm going to be doing every 30 seconds. Right, so we've got a 50% damage buff to both of our pistol attacks. Not too bad as a starter. Don't worry, after this we'll be moving into skill points. Now, we probably want something kinetic here, but equally, we could just go for something that's mitigation, safety play as such. It kind of depends as to what you want to go for here. If here you had the Fleshbane attack, you could go for just something that's going to help you take down armoured targets. You could go for like Molten Beam. You could even probably stack something like Fiery Form on top here. You could even go with a double damage buff, so you'd get a 50 damage bonus, plus you would get an extra 20 damage bonus. Remember, the extra 50 only applies to heat attacks, so we've got lots of options. We've got lots and lots of options. In terms of my personal preference, let's look at what the build does. The build has single target, where the hell is the AoE? No AoE whatsoever. So the only downside now is if we have an AoE, let's say we go for Hemorrhage, it's warp damage. Not ideal, because we're getting a 50% damage bonus to kinetic. Let's say we go for Constrict. Again, it's warp. Let's have a look. All of the Pyromancy ones are obviously going to be fire. And unfortunately, all of these are also, ta-da, none of them are actually physical damage. So this is the downside of the kinetic build, is you're not going to have great AoE with the amazing 50% damage bonus. However, Firestorm is just a good ability, and it's on a 6-second cooldown. So we're going to stick that in there, even though we're not technically making a fire build. So it's a little bit janky, but hey, it's going to work. Now, in terms of runes and what as such you want to go for, remember, foreboding is... This is where I would honestly start for a Psyker. If we go over to over here, now these are all of your options. If you hover over, you can basically see which ones are compatible. Remember, this is a buff that's going to stay on your character all the time. Well, you can keep the buff up quite easily. It's on a 35-second cooldown. It lasts for 20 seconds. So the first thing I'd probably do, if we take these off, is I'd want to be able to keep it up all the time. That's what she said. So what we'd probably do is we'll increase the duration by 50%. For me, I think that's the smartest to use, because that's going to keep it up for 30 seconds. Now, do you want to do that and reduce the cooldown by 25 as well? That's going to keep it up for 30. Okay. Personally, I think the 50% here is justifiable. Adding the extra one too, yeah, okay, you're not going to lose out on 4 seconds of not having it. But you could give yourself a buff during those 4 seconds. So we could pick something like increasing all damage by 10%, increasing movement by 10%. Warp resist there, I would generally go for damage. So what we can do is we can now go shopping, get ourselves a couple of things to stick in there. So we go over to skills, we go over to psychic combat, which is going to give us some buffs. And we're going to look for the ones we want. Now, speed boost, I do quite like, but remember I've got a teleport ability. The actual damage boost, all type, very useful. 10% damage for 3 points invested. Nice and easy, nice and cheap, nice and effective. Remember, guys, if you've got questions as we go, fire away. Now, what else could we do? Suppression damage, is that of any use to us? Not really, not at all. We don't need vulnerability because we're going to be applying vulnerabilities. Heck, we're not even going to get a vulnerability because this is a self-buffing move. So what else do we want? Well, we have unlocked movement on the way, and it does mean that we don't have to spend any more. Do we really want it? Do we really want it? Probably not. Let's go for critical hit. Okay, now, I may have actually goofed a little bit here. I may have actually goofed. Let's have a look. Let's click on this. So we can go movement, we'll go all damage, and we'll go for... warp resist is a bit of a lackluster. That'll do. We'll stick in movement speed for now. Maybe... is warp resist worth it? Kind of, a little bit, maybe not really. Okay, that'll do for the moment. The other ability, we've got a deleted ability here. Firestorm, we're going to stick that up there. What do we got on Firestorm? Let's sort that out right now. Critical hit chance, definitely go with that. And I would go for... Now notice, we're not going to have warp heat problems, not at all. Just because we've only got one ability that's really going to generate it. And we can spam a few blinks here and there very, very easily. Warp management shouldn't be a problem. So I would probably unlock something like a stun, a slow, something like that. What we'll do then is we'll quickly go and unlock that, and then we'll crack on with the skill points, because this may be dragging on a little bit for those of you that just want to see me pew-pew some stuff. So we're going to look for some debuffs to actually apply to the damaging ability. We've got a stun, so that's going to stun regular movement, regular enemies. That's going to be useful. We don't really need a vulnerability. Armor piercing, well, we've got that on our primary attack. Is there anything else that would be useful? Maybe a stun and a slow. Is that of any use? Let's just see what else we can get. Knockdown, I mean, heck, that sounds fun, to be honest. Let's go with that and not the stun. Let's go with the knockdown and damage over time. Okay. Ta-da! Now we'll go back over here. I like the idea of a knockdown because it buys you quite a lot of time, and you can apply extra things to enemies that have been knocked down for a certain period of time. We'll come back to that in a moment. So, Firestorm, we're back over here now. Knockdown, definitely going to go with that. Do we really need to increase the cooldown by 25%? Not really, not really. Damage over time, I'll probably exchange here. That's probably what I'll stick with, although the cooldown is definitely optional. Piercing armor breaking, again, not needed. Vulnerability is not needed. Critical hit chance is only really useful if you're speccing into crit. So what I might do is actually skill effectiveness. Actually just make it do more damage. Poke, Arcblade Assassin. Perhaps, buddy, we're just going to be talking about builds and demoing some now, but we could certainly go through a build for that in a while if you like, and you can give me some thoughts as to what you like in terms of that. What is up, Dewey? Nice to see you, my friend. Chapter Master Jones. Let's get a whoop for Dewey. While we're on the subject, by the way, I need one more sponsor and we get custom emojis, okay? And it is going to be, you only need 2 sponsors for emojis. I probably shouldn't have said or declared the amount of numbers, but that's a lot less than bloody Twitch, where you have to get 100 streamers, 100 viewers consistently for a certain amount of months. That's how it used to be when I was a Twitch streamer anyway. It was a long-ass time. Right, enough rambling anyway. We've got a physical attack. We know we've committed to single target. All very good. We've got armor breaking. We've got vulnerability. So let's take advantage of that. Let's look at debuffs. Now, straight away, we can go 3, 6, 9, 12% extra damage straight away on our primary attack. Okay? Primary attack, 12% extra damage. Nicely done. 10% suppression damage bonus to armor breaking, armor piercing. Now remember, we've got the knockdown, and somewhere up here there is a little bit of a damage reduction to enemies that have been knocked down. We just have to try and find this. Stun, blind, or knockdown. 3-second shock penalty basically lowers their attack speed, if I remember correctly. So, I mean, that could be of some use, and that increases the duration of shocks. We can give that a try. So that's going to last for 3 plus an extra 20% of 3. It's not too bad. Now, you can also do extra damage to enemies who have stacked vulnerabilities. So every time you hit them, instead of doing another 10%, you do another 13%. So that's actually quite a nice one as well. Increasing suppression damage. Unfortunately, you have to spend 2 to get there. Now, -1 warp heat is also nice because your pistol can become a sort of a warp discharging component, but you do have your sword for discharging too. I'm going to put it on now just to be safe. So these are a few to get started. We're going to go into the single DPS tree. Absolutely, perhaps a little bit of kinetic and critical, but first we really need to prioritize this. Remember, every build needs this because right now it is probably one of the most broken things in the game. It gives you your inoculator cooldown every single fucking time you need it. Other abilities that can be useful for a lot of classes. Damage reduction in cover, I'm quite a big fan of. Reason being, this can actually use cover because we're not using the fire shield. It's not going to be destroying cover, so we get a bonus 20% damage reduction there. Very, very handy. Now, 20% extra armor is semi-useful. If we go on our character here and bring up our armor, we have 19 damage reduction, so we would get 4% damage reduction by spending those 2 points. Is that worth it? Yeah, I would say so. That's 2 points pretty well spent. Now, we've only got 11 left, and really what I want to be maxing out is probably the single target tree. Now, in terms of the useful things from here, there's a couple in particular. Every 1-hit kill restores 10% of maximum HP is really good when you're trying to farm low-level missions. It's an ability that was pointed out to me by Falter, who was breaking a sniper rifle build back then. Now, it used to apply 10% of your maximum health whenever you killed someone with a single target ability. It didn't necessarily have to follow the tooltip that it just had to be a 1-hit kill. But what we can do is quickly test this and see if it's any good. Now, do we have any abilities with more than 1 second cooldown? That's an AoE, so 5% damage for our AoE. It's not too bad. But let's just see if there's anything else we can get here. 1.5 is not too bad. Range skills, 3% again, so we've got 4.5% here. I think that's pretty good. We're up to 6% there. Is this worth getting here? Maybe, but I don't want to be at maximum warp heat. And let's just check out here. 1-hit kills with a single target. Skill, grant 20% damage and 10% damage bonus for 10 seconds. It is good, but it depends how it procs. I'm not 100% sure this is actually this one procs when you do get a 1-hit kill. We're going to test the life regen sort of aspect of it now. 10% damage and suppression bonus versus enemies below 30% health. That's really only useful for killing bosses. And if they're already at 30% health, really that's saying sort of a third extra damage. Or sorry, 3.3% damage because you're only going to be doing it half the time to an enemy. Maybe not technically, it depends how far down you get them with 1 hit, but I'm not sure if that's worth it. And that is also quite good. Enemies losing 50% or more health from a single target attack are knocked down. So we're going to be doing all sorts of knockdown. I'm even going to backtrack here a little bit just to unlock that, because if you're doing a fairly easy if you're doing a fairly easy one, that is incredibly useful. Now, I'm not saying that this is the best build in the world. What is up, Operator Hoot? That is a new name, my friend. I don't think I've seen you in here before. This is just how I might start a build. You may decide you like certain aspects, you may dislike certain aspects. I could certainly make this build more powerful. I could take advantage of some more overpowered mechanics, which do exist within the game, but that's a good place to start. What we'll do is we'll take that off and... no, we're going to go back for 1.5. There's got to be something better we can do with one single point, surely. Ranged combat would also be completely viable. Range skill damage 5% when a target is slow, shocked, stunned or frozen. Getting these points in, 5, 10, 15, 20% extra damage, also very good. 30% reload time for ammo too. That would be a very, very good investment considering we're going to be stunning and shocking enemies. So maybe it's worth 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Can we skimp 4 points from anywhere here? Depends if this one works. If it doesn't, and I'll tell you what. Because we've got our inoculator always there, we're not going to deal with that. We're not even going to bother. We're just going to go straight for max damage. We've got the extra reload speed. That's really nice. Channeled skills don't need. That we don't need either. And that gives us 2 points left. Can we do anything interesting with 2 points? Let's have a little look at the range tree. Are there any juicy ones? Ugh, not particularly. Not relevant. Is there anything else? Come on, we've got to find something here. Yeah, now that's kind of good. 3% crit. I mean, we're not going to be speccing into crit though. Physical attacks, critical hit strength, kind of irrelevant. Support, anything good there? The trouble is you need 3 for all of them here. Some of these are really good though. Minus 20% warp heat to something mounted in the support slot, which is the final one, assuming you have a focus equipped, is very good. There's loads and loads of options. What is up, Yang? What is up, Blitzen X Gaming? The debuff does happen after loss of suppression, so this is only going to apply to normal mobs. So that is a very good point, my friend. This won't be applying to bosses as such, so I'm not going to be getting that 20% bonus to bosses until I've rinsed their suppression, which may or may not be a problem depending on how much actual suppression damage I'm doing. 2% damage reduction, kind of worth it, maybe not. We'll go here. We'll take an extra bit of physical resist and an extra 3% damage reduction when standing still. We're going to be in cover standing still. Let's give this a whirl and see how badly it goes. Mobs without suppression are sometimes one-shot, my friend. It depends on what difficulty you're playing. But you are right, quite often they will be. We'll start with something simple like the Stolen Relics, and this is going to be on a fairly easy difficulty. But I also do build builds in mind that I will get lower level players to host just so we can play a harder difficulty. And what we might do at the end of this is perhaps do a couple of missions, maybe see if we can do some plus 500 difficulty with a group. But we're going to have to make a new build for that. In which case, if Dr. Dewey, if Falza is still around, we may borrow some of those guys. That is also a good point from Viserys. By the time you rinse their suppression, they're normally dead. Depends what weapon you're using. If you've got the arc blades, their suppression will go before you even touch their life. Now remember, we're going to keep our 3 buff up. Something I didn't mention earlier, on my offhand I also have this ability, which is basically a free life. So that's going to resurrect us if things go really bad. And remember, we've got the arc blade, which is just a free teleporter around the map. Now, the only downside here is that the rate of fire is pretty horrible. So if you're trying, this is why I went with the AoE skill, because that is just horrible. And this is this. Much, much more effective. Much, much more effective, and as is blinking. So there's certainly our colleague here within the actual chat has a very good point, that sometimes building extra damage is completely wasted because you're just not going to see the benefits of it. Especially, we really should be blinking here to go between them. Now, it has to be said that the damage bonus is not particularly noticeable. This is not a quick run by any means. It's a viable build. I like the knockbacks. Mainly for the aesthetics, I will be honest. However, the build is... Let's be honest here, it's fairly slow. It's nowhere near as quick as the previous build I was using, which could spam. And it's nowhere near as viable. No, I wouldn't say it's nowhere near as viable. It's nowhere near as effective as the fire build as well. The advantage though, and this is a fairly big advantage. The advantage is that I can actually use cover with this build. Now you can use cover with the fire build, of course. Lol. However, this build can actually use it and take advantage of the extra 20% damage mitigation, which is a fairly high amount of damage mitigation. Now this is taking quite a long time to go down. You can see that suppression bar is never going to go down before his health. Certainly something to take in mind. It's going to take us a little while, but we'll crack through this mission. And then I think what we'll do is we'll make one more build, and then perhaps jump in with some other players and see how that build works. I'm thinking we go for a high-level build that's actually going to be capable of contributing towards a build in a very difficult setting. That's the plan anyway. We'll try and go for, let's say, a specialised combat role. Perhaps max damage. Max single target damage, rather. Now, let's test out a little bit of this ability. Remember, it does higher damage, so if you're hitting something less than 3 times, technically speaking, the 1 key is going to be higher damage. It's going to do more damage at close range as well, an extra 30%. Do keep that in mind. So remember when we looked at the DPS for the bolt pistol, it is the case. It is the case that if you're hitting them less than 3 times, you're going to be doing more damage with this. The suppression bar does go down. It does go down. Now, I'm playing a little bit potato. I could definitely be dodging, ducking, dipping, diving and dodging a little bit more. But does anyone else have any builds that they love with the Psyker? Let's talk about some of the OP stuff for now. I mean, one of the OP things is just this ability, which is just sort of an instant get out of jail free card. It's sort of, oh, I'm surrounded, I'm out of combat now. It's ridiculous. If it's not changed by final release, I really think the developers need a little bit of a talking to. Now, another build I might suggest trying is taking advantage of the bolt pistol for its anti-suppression quality if you max out the number 1 key, and combining that with something like the single target damage ability, which works on targets without suppression. I think that would be a fairly viable and fairly sensible build, and you can easily take down the target suppression with this. I'm holding down the 1 key currently. Let's explode that barrel, save us a little bit of time. So if we use this here, it does take down the suppression pretty fast, meaning we could then single target pop them. One of the issues I had on my previous build is I had nothing that would take the suppression down fast enough. But if you increase the suppression damage by 20%, which is very, very easy to do, even 30%, given the right abilities, this could be a real winner in terms of making, now what's the goddamn skill name? It's not hemorrhage. It'll come back to me. Remember, we should be using our extra damage ability. I'm going to see if I can kill him without moving. The answer is no, but fortunately I had my free resurrect there. Right, there we go. 2 chests down, let's move on. We've got a few assassin players inside the house today. Assassin players are fun people. Do I think there'll be a 4th class anytime soon? Absolutely not. Definitely not by final release. It's just been said so many times by the developers that there will be 3 classes at release. So that's that, my friend. That is that. Now, while they do have things that we don't know about, I really don't think they would have marketed the game so much as having 3 classes without that being the case. There would be no sense not to say right now, and there will be an extra class at launch. Even given the Neo-Core levels of secrecy, of which there are a hell of a lot. But I really don't expect another class to be coming out soon. There will be more things for the classes that we have, but that's about it. So, we got some assassin playing the leader of a small merchant house, trying to gain power through. Okay, we've got a little bit of roleplay going on here. Does anyone do a little bit of Rogue Trader? That's the one. We got any Rogue Trader fans in the house? I've watched, who's the guy that does lots of talking? Who's the guy that does lots of talking for 40k? Arch Warhammer. How did I forget that name? I've watched him do a little bit of Rogue Trader. Trader. Looks interesting. So, It is all good, Roll Jaeger. Not everyone has seen all of the advertising for the game, to be honest. Many people have sort of just had a quick look, said it's 40k and bought in, and I don't blame you for doing that. I don't blame you for doing that. Although I do have to say, people that bought the game, presumed certain things were in it, and then complain that they're not in it, nah, they've only got themselves to blame. And we've got quite a few of those kicking around. Quite a few of those, in which case sympathy is not necessarily warranted. Although there are people that will claim that the advertising's misled them into thinking the game is open world. Those players, however, do have a fairly good case for being misled. But there you go. Separate argument aside, that's a job for another day, I think. Bang, bang, bang. Quite a slow rate of fire, isn't it? An extra rate of fire on this weapon would be very, very useful. Now, do also bear in mind that none of my gear is tailored to this. All of it has plus warp damage right now, so that is something to consider. I really do like the knockback. Very, very nice touch. However, the only downside is that if this were a harder difficulty, I'd only be doing the knockback when I do 50% of their health, which would not be very often. Would not be very often at all. And I'm not doing a very good job of keeping this buff up either. That has to be said. I have forgotten how to keep buffs up, having played a class that doesn't have any buffs for the past few weeks. Or for the past 2 weeks, I should say. You bought it after watching Valrak. Well, I am happy for you, my friend. I am happy. I see there's quite a few YouTubers that have given it a little bit of a bash in a whirl. I see Valrak's given it a go, Game Night's given it a go, Morjax Plays, he's given it a crack as well. Splattercat Gaming, I know he's given it a whirl too. That's about it. That's about it. Not many people have actually sort of read into what's the alpha, what's happening, etc. I think Valrak went through the roadmap, but I remember watching Arch Warhammer and Splattercat requesting features that were coming the next month, etc., and not realising they were coming. But I do think the developer could have also perhaps done the job of saying, maybe outreaching to them and say, here you go, here's the game, here's the roadmap, here's what we're making, have you got any questions? That probably would have helped a little bit. There you go. Orthoris, I'm not familiar with that person. I feel like I should be. The name sounds familiar. Am I just being a little bit dumb and slow there? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Right. Anyway, if you just had the game for a couple of days, welcome to the community. I think you'll find everyone is a pretty nice bunch. Everyone's pretty cool, I think. Am I right, guys? Are you a nice bunch? Are you all nice-ish? I mean, we're 40k fans at the end of the day. We're a little bit odd, aren't we? We're all a little bit odd. I guess the same could be said for pretty much anyone these days, but I certainly have had a blast in the community for God knows how long. However long I've been talking in the forums for, probably a year. I've been there far too often. Far too often. La-da-dee. Well, I'll make sure to check that dude out, because he does 40k content, and I like people that do 40k content. La-da-da-da-dee. Well, yeah, indeed, my friend, we are all brothers from a glorious emperor. Now, I have to say, having made this build, and this will happen quite a lot to you, every now and again, you'll make a build, and you'll think, I've pressed all the right buttons here. I've done the right things. Why isn't this working for me? Now, one reason would be because the bread and butter damage is not AoE, and I'm not keeping the buff up enough. Okay, a fair bit of it is me just playing badly. But there is something about it, even with the single target damage here, that's not particularly overwhelming. It's nothing that a couple of warp lightnings wouldn't have done a lot. And I mean a lot faster. Sometimes you've just got to give up and say this is not working and start again. However, this might have its place within a team build, because what I can do is very quickly apply a few shots, and that guy is now taking 30% damage, extra damage from anyone physical on my team. So, I mean, maybe with the vulnerability builds, they do tend to sometimes be a little bit more lackluster in terms of damage, but they do sometimes pay off when you're playing in a team scenario. Something to consider. I mean, vulnerability does, 10 stacks, that's double damage. It's pretty good, and it does apply to team members as well, I believe. I could be wrong, but I'm 90% sure that it does. Not a lot of damage coming through here. Do get a bonus of 30% when in their face, so we could really be using a lot of blinking around, shooting. That would definitely be a lot more swish than what I'm doing at the moment, but I am not very good at multitasking when talking, so I just sort of tend to play a little bit potato. It's a little bit easier for my brain to cope with. Full auto, not bad damage, not bad at all. I think now is probably a good time to use an AoE. Right. Taking some damage from ourselves, and let's get the hell out of here. So why don't we drag a couple members out of the cabal if you give me 60 seconds to get some recruits, and we'll get someone in, we'll get some guys in here, see if we can do a mission. I'm going to give priority to the Patreons first, then the cabal members. If there's some spaces, we'll get you guys in here, okay? But I'm afraid I've got to have the priority system for those loyal. Right, let's have a see. So, who have we got available? Let me just jump on the Discord. Okay. Anyone? Bear with me a second, guys. The screen will be frozen. Don't worry, it'll unfreeze when I tab back. Just trying to get some dudes in. Anyone for Coop? Need 3 more. Right, so what I'm going to start doing in the meantime is making my co-op build, making something that's actually viable. I honestly believe the best strength of this character's potential build lays in single target damage, because the single target damage is nuts. So that's what we're going to go back to. We're going to go back to using, and I'll show you the ability, which is absolutely broken. La-da-da-da-dee. La-da-dee-dee-dee. Hey, how is it going? Kerigolas, I like your name. I like your name. Right now, my friend, the Cabal is in a sort of a shape-up sort of phase, but we will do a recruitment if needs be. Yeah, I know you can't respond in the announcements, Falza, but you can always sort of at me in the main chat. Right, da. Okay, we've got some people up for it. We've got 1 Dutch, we've got 1 Irish. Now, is a pro? I think we might have a full squad. I think we've got a full squad. Okay, if we don't have a pro, we'll use you guys to fill in a slot. Now, let's crack on with making this build. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to warp damage. That was way better than what we have here. We're going to find something that's AoE based, and I'll show you why in a second. We're going to find a staff with AoE warp damage. There we go, but that's a single-handed one. We want a two-hander. There we go, fire and warp. That's what we're going to equip right here. All of our signums are already warp based. Fantastic. Now what we're going to do is reset our skill points. Single target, maybe we're going to keep that. I'll talk you through everything as we go. This will not take as long as the last one. Do I want knockdown? No, I do not. I will go for critical hit, I believe, even though I have a feeling that it's technically broken, but we shall see. We shall see. I may keep that. We're going to take these off, though. We're going to take off defense because I should not be taking that much damage with this build. If I am, I'm going to be absolutely screwed. Now, in terms of how this build is going to work, we're going to be using Hemorrhage because, well, it's pretty goddamn fun. It's a nice long-range AoE dot. We're going to stick that over there, and we're going to use Constrict, which is just an insane damage dealer. Now, we're going to move these over a little bit, because what we're going to need to make a little bit of space for is Divine Shot. Now, Divine Shot is... You know what? I've just realised. No, we are right. Divine Shot makes your next ability do an extra 70% extra damage. So 70% is nuts. Nuts. Let me just tell the guys we'll be a moment. Okay. Right, I think we might have enough players now. Right, so what we're going to do is make this build real quick, and then we're going to jump in. We don't need Firestorm, we need Divine Shot, and we need something else that's going to boost our damage a little bit. I think... What should we go for, guys? We're going to have warp damage. Let's go for... Let's go for Fiery Form. Let's go for Fiery Form. Divine Shot. That looks good. So we're not going to have amazing damage other than an AoE and a single target boom ability. Now, let's have a little look here. Okay. Right, the players are currently looking for one more. Good. Sorry about the confusion, guys, but I didn't have the hindsight, or foresight rather, to sort of try and organise myself. Right, so let's load up. Let's get rid of... Now, skill effectiveness, absolutely amazing. Look at the damage that goes up typically is pretty goddamn big when you go with skill effectiveness. Skill duration, not so good. Skill effectiveness, on some of them it increases the damage. Let's try that on here. Effectiveness, maybe they've patched it. Let's have a look. Effectiveness, there you go. Massive damage increase here. Effectiveness doesn't seem to apply to the AoE. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly whop that out. If it's not making any impact, there's no point using it. Vulnerability to the skill, kind of pointless. We've got critical hits. Knockdown to it, is that worth it for a hemorrhage? It's not... yes, you know what? It is, just to keep people alive, because it's an AoE ability. It's really, really good. Now, Divine Shot's going to give me a buff. It's not going to last too long, but we're definitely going to go for 10% damage, and we'll definitely go for... we'll definitely go for cooldown, because... it is one that you just need to have cooldown for, because it's got a long cooldown. We're going to help reset it a little bit quicker. We'll go for movement speed too. And that, I think, will do to start us off with. I think the last one we're going to need is Constrict. We're going to need to fiddle with that a little bit. Now, it already comes with armor breaking. Ignores 50%. So we could go for completely armor piercing, which, to be honest, is not a bad shout. We'll start with that. We'll get the critical hit chance on there as well. 11-second cooldown, I think we don't need to worry about. Do we need knockdown? Probably not. Skill effectiveness, we have taken off for some reason. So we've got cooldown. Yeah, we'll get rid of that, pop that back. There we go. We've got... there we go. Armor piercing, a skill effectiveness, critical hit chance. Boom. Right. Archie and George. That is the name of this co-op thing. Right, now we've also got Death Augury that's going to keep us alive a little bit. This is the build. Quickly go through skills and we're ready. So what we're going to do is blitz through skills here. What we need is the where are you movement tree. We need to go for this because we get 10% quicker cooldown when we use our left mouse button. And what you'll notice with the with the Constrict ability is armor breaking, armor piercing. We can now take advantage of that, which we've done a little bit of via the debuff tree. So we're going to make them stun, knockdown, etc. We've got that with the hemorrhage. We're going to do extra damage to armor piercing, etc. And we did go for critical, so we're going to just boost up our critical hit chance a little bit. We're going to go for that. We're going to go for a little bit of this. Extra critical hit is always nice. And boost up a little bit there. I think that'll do to begin with. I don't want to make it too fancy. Let's just get cracking and invite the dudes in. So if we go Cabal members, again, the Cabal is a little bit of a disaster at the moment. So we've got these two guys coming. Right, so who else is joining? Well, we've got these two. What we need is one more. One more. So what I'll say is if anyone wants to send me a PM in the game, first person to send me a PM now. Oh no, we got Degs on. Invite to party. There we go. Is he joining or was this a while ago? I'm not entirely sure. May not be joining. Okay. Someone whisper me, someone speaking general. There, he's joined. Never mind. So we're going to give leader to Fulza because basically he is a lower level, so he has the greatest opportunity for a higher difficulty. So we're going to get him to host, stick us in a mission. Why don't we start with like plus 300 non-assassination or something like that? And I'll type it to him as well. No, actually, he's in the stream, I believe. So I would go and chat with them, but it's easier for me to talk to you if that's not all going on. We can actually talk about the game. We can try out this build, and this build is a team build primarily. We've also got Eternal Warrior, which is very, very useful for a class that tends to die. This one I have mixed feelings about, because it gives me extra damage at max warp heat, but at the same time you tend to die a lot. I'm not entirely sure on the other perks as to what I honestly like with the Psyker, but that's going to do to begin with. Guys, right, stickers in a mission, Fowler. Or maybe we'll go plus 250. There we go, plus 250. Now we're going to need Milamba. Milamba is the full dedicated tank of the group here. He is 100% tank, and he is going to be the one, hopefully, sponging all the damage and staying alive. Let's just wait for them to stick us in the game now. We'll see what they're up to. La da 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 da. So, in terms of what we have as a team composition, Assassin, 2 Crusaders, and a Psyker. I think that's a really cool combo. When will you be able to play as the Emperor of Mankind? My friend, I have absolutely no idea. Absolutely. Hopefully soon. Next class, easily confirmed. Fools. What is my Irish friend doing? Is he going to load us in? Has he gone for a coffee? Has he gone for a smoke? Nobody knows. He stuck us in a mission. Now, I can't actually tell what the difficulty is, because Neocore's matchmaking system is not particularly well tuned for party level play. Even though it's less than my level, remember, the game difficulty is based on the host. So I actually have no idea what the damage modifiers are for this. Hopefully my colleague is keeping track of that. Now this will be interesting. It's going to be very, very painful for the assassin in particular. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he does. What I could do in one of the games is actually invest in casting the free life ability on my allies, which in a really high difficulty game could be the difference between success or failure. However, we don't have it, so let's just see how we go. Now we've got a fire shield, we've got a 70% damage buff here. There we go, let's rock on. So, oh, this is easy. I can tell that already, this is easy. Right, and we make him go pop. There you go. We make him go pop. Right, I've changed my button, so right click is now an insta-kill for someone. And you'll notice every time I use my left mouse that it resets my cooldowns a lot quicker. I'm going to have to get used to these changes in buttons, but this is, I think, plus 250 and very, very easy. Now, how are we doing for frames, guys? Right, now you'll notice as well, pow, you see his health go down? A pretty good chunk, that's from my left click. Pretty good chunk. Need to try and keep the buffs up, and another big chunk, there we go. And that was a crit as well. That was a crit as well. That was a nice chunk of damage. So what we've got here is we've got an arc blade assassin that basically has stupidly high AoE, as well as some very, 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 very handy abilities for reducing enemy suppression. So the benefit here is that my actual abilities that do it damage to suppressed enemies are finally useful. Right, and my right click, remember, pretty much kills anything without suppression in one hit, especially when I cast all the other buttons. So we can do that, and we can nuke everything here. This is way too easy. We need to step it up a few levels. Next mission, plus 200 from whatever this is right now. It's going to take me a while to get used to the buttons though, but if you look at the enemy health... Whoa. Okay, that's my passive gone, because I wasn't paying attention. We'll cast this ability and get myself a free life. Now we'll go back to actually helping my team. La-da-dee. Guess we should mop up some enemies around the edge too, right? And we can kill the occasional one in one hit. I mean, the damage spike you do from that is just insane. It is absolutely ridiculous. And Deg's over there, the Scouser from another Mouser, is going and stealing all of them hubcaps. Pretty easy going, eh? Not too shabby at all. Now again, I don't know what difficulty this is, and I'm not using the right button the majority of the time. But it's going pretty easy, let's be honest. Downside of this build, using the cover system. You actually kill the cover. A little bit of a problem. So, nice thing as well, you can use Divine Shot and use that with your 1, which will be your AoE, meaning that you're going to do an extra lot of damage. And then we'll do a right click on him just to pew him down. Yeah, we need to make this harder because the enemies are just dying a little bit too fast right now. But it's a good warm-up. And what I'll do is I'll find out afterwards what the actual difficulty is. Because it's, well, it's not easy. It's, yeah, no, okay, it's easy. It's easy. Little bit of that. Now the question is, how well are we going to kill this? And the knockdown is very nice as well. I'm really liking the knockdown on that. Remember, normal mobs don't have a suppression meter, so... wasted my ability there. Absolutely wasted my single target ability. 2 and 3 and... oh. Might as well kill one of those. While this thing has suppression, I really can't do much to it. Oh, Jiminy freaking cricket. What we'll do is we'll cast a stun on him. And now we'll use that to do the right click. That's a good chunk of damage. It's about... that's a good third of his health. Unfortunately, I didn't use my Divine Shot, which would have done an extra 70%. So I reckon we can do half of their health. That's a good start to it. That's a good start to the mission. Let's progress up to... let's put another 200% on that. Let's put another 200 on that. I think we can do that easy peasy. And that was me trying to figure out and learn the buttons as well. Now, not a lot of experience because it was lower than mine. That was 250. Okay, maybe we should go for 450? You think that would be... yeah, good shout, my friend. I think we can definitely go a little bit higher. 10 fates for it because it was quite a difficult mission. We did get low experience, but guys, do remember that the experience system is balked in this at the moment. It bases it on the difficulty relative to your level rather than the difficulty... yeah. It's sort of... it's balked. It should be the difficulty relative to the leader's level that sort of determines... so it should basically say it's a plus 500 difficulty mission, so everyone gets plus 500 difficulty experience, but instead it says, the mission was actually mission level 50, and you were level 200, so it's minus 150, even though it was harder because someone else hosted. But that is literally just an issue with the calculation at the moment, and I've spoken to the devs about it. They didn't realise that that's actually happening. That shouldn't be happening. So... yeah, that'll change. That'll change. Now, I have a feeling this is going to be 450 to 500, so we'll see how this goes. People will be dying a lot faster, including myself. So we're definitely going to need that ability to, well, give me some goddamn free lives. I do have my passive as well, always handy when you don't pay attention and you're looking at the chat for a few seconds. So we've got number 3 cast there, and we're going to cast this fire shield. And we're going to do some AoEs as well. Unfortunately, it doesn't have an animation, which is very sort of unfortunate. Right. Pretty reasonable, I think. Yeah, okay, this shouldn't be too difficult. This should be pretty damn doable. I think I should get in the habit of using my Divine Shot a little bit more often. That way, when we do the AoE, it does 70% more damage. Right, can still kill small guys in one hit. Okay. Gonna need to lower some suppression down here before I do any damage. There's a one-shot kill. Oh, nearly. I mean, the damage is pretty good though, right? It's not too bad. And the knockdown on that is really nice. Knockdown is really nice. Right, we're gonna have to spam this ability a little bit to get that off a cooldown. La-da-da-da. La-da-dee. And Milamba is over there just doing his own thing. He just doesn't even care. Just out there. I wonder how our team's doing for inoculators. I've been fairly fortunate thus far. I've barely had to scratch one. Okay. the damage is fairly lacking, but it's all good. Right, this does not look like it's going to be particularly difficult. But we do have some supplies. Some extra inoculator, bringing us up to 20. I think we're going to be okay, guys. We're going to make this one step harder next. This is definitely doable. We're going to get a fire shield, we're going to get that, and then we're going to do a big old AoE there, knock them all down. Really, really cool ability. Really, really like that. Okay. I like the ability that every now and again I just one-shot pop something. I think that's a good one. I really, really like that. It's such a good ability. Even considering if this was super, super, super hard, I can take a mob that would be regenning and just sort of pop it. Really, really like that. Now, the February patch we have no roadmap for. I would imagine they will release the roadmap first, and then they will release the February patch. So, all I can say is if we don't have the roadmap yet, the patch ain't going to be that close. Right, there we go. Let's get... That's a fairly good bit of damage on him. That's a fairly good bit. I mean, you look at that compared to the regular attacks. Hot dang. Okay, this is... it's slow, but it's very, very doable. Okay. Does anyone have no suppression here? No, they've all got suppression. Now, what I might do is I might actually go stand there with my fire shield, because that actually does just as much damage as my regular character does. And again, once they've got that suppression down, they're dead. But until then, I'm kind of useless. That's the downside of this build. It's not massive damage. It does some very nice spikes. It's kind of unfortunate you have to spend a lot of ability points into just unlocking the cooldown per weapon ability usage, but it is incredibly handy. Gotta be honest with you. Gotta be honest with you, it's super handy. Right, loads of damage coming in. Right. He's gonna die. Suppression bar only has to be red. Now, I have no suppression. But I do have a knockdown still. And I do still have the capacity to kill stuff. Get that fire shield back up. Get that guy popping. There we go. Not too bad, not too bad. I reckon we could shove another 100 on the difficulty probably, and we'd still just about be okay. Nice. Absolutely nice burst there. Really like that. Now, may not be the most satisfying build in the world for some people. You really are just, you're a sniper. This is a sniper build. If this needs a name, it is the Sniper Psyker Sniper. The Sniper with a PSY. There you go. That is this build. What we need is a build forum. Someone needs to put that up right now. I'm calling copyright on that. It is the Sniper with a PSY. I can't believe we're doing a damn purge mission. Whose idea was that? Right. Let's take some guys off around the edge. And we can slow those guys too. Let him get some life back. Because we're friendly like that. We're a good bunch. Okay, not enough damage coming in at the mo. We're going to activate an inoculator. Just to... There we go. There we go, we're cooking. Commander time. Commander's going down. Going down to Chinatown. I think we'll just kill that rogue Psyker. Who's he think he is? I'm the frickin' Psyker here. Get out of it. Oh, so how's everyone's day going? You all having fun? Is everyone else just itching for the damn roadmap? I've been pestering the developers all damn day. So, please give me the damn roadmap. Apparently they're pestering the actual sort of management for a roadmap too, so don't worry, we're not alone in our desperation for a roadmap. The staff really want one as well. It just seems like it's no simple thing to ask for at the moment. I presume things may be somewhat up in the air. Who knows? Who bloody knows? But it would be nice to not be guessing about so much and just have a little bit of info as to what's happening over the next 2 months. Some reassurance as to what content wasn't added in the November and such updates, and December and January, and when we will see it. That would be nice. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Let's knock these guys down. Let's knock them down. Oh, so much pain. So much pain. I have a feeling that just knocked off my extra ability. Okay. That took off my free life. We'll put that back on again. We've now got an extra life. Once more. Put my abilities on cooldown by swapping weapons, but that's not actually the end of the world. I think it's a bug that the grenade ability isn't put on cooldown when you change weapons, but please don't tell the developers, because it's actually something I really, really enjoy. Please don't tell them that. Bug hunting with Hydra. So we'll do a 2, and then we'll do a right click, and he's dead. 4K, that's respectable. Could be higher though. I've seen it go as high as 14. Seen it go as high as 14, which is nuts. Absolutely nuts for single target damage. Right. Oh, it's 9:30 here in the UK. Ah, we have a boss, a giant chaos spawn. Okay. Right, this guy is nearly dead. He can sort of be stun locked now. Even though I did the wrong ability on him. Right, that's him dead. Okay, let's see how much damage we can do to the giant chaos spawn. And how much are we doing there? That was not a huge amount of damage, was it? That was not a huge amount of damage. And I believe he's, yeah, of course he's immune to knockdown as well, but, you know, it's all groovy. Pretty doable, pretty doable. I wonder what the difficulty was here. Do you reckon this is plus 500? Right, there we go. And, oh, you've come to attack me. Back, beast. One more pop. There we go. Are we done? How many left? I think we've got one more rock formation. Did we miss a rock? Yeah, there's a tree back there we never really went down. Okay, now for that awkward moment, that awkward pause where you're all looking at each other thinking, why didn't we go down there? Why didn't we go down there? It's all about backtracking. But at least you get to enjoy the maps. Now, some people don't like the maps. Me personally, I think they need some goddamn anti-aliasing, but they do look nice. I like them. I'm looking forward to the next 4 maps that we're going to get, maybe 5. I really hope that we've got some more larger playing field ones. The ice field is cool. We need another 2 or 3 maps like that, I really believe. Corridor systems are just so inferior in terms of gameplay. In terms of having to backtrack all the time. With a non-corridor system, you just draw a straight line to the next target. It is so much easier to navigate when you've got multiple routes to the same point. Corridor, no one likes corridor tile sets. Thick jungle. I am with you. Big ass jungle is what we need. We need frickin' Venus flytraps the size of a dreadnought. That's what we need. The occasional plant that just tries to bite your bum. That is 100% what we need. Oh, he's not dead. Oh, he's sort of hiding in a rock as well. And we can pop him. Boop. There we go. I'm digging the build. Yeah, cities. City. If the game needs anything, I think a city would be really nice as well. Jesus. How Jesus. We'll start plucking them away one by one. Oh, he teleported on me and then disappeared. So the CCs definitely seem like they're very, very useful. The enemies don't have diminishing returns as well, remember, so it's very, very nice to be able to just stun lock enemies, basically, if you don't want to take damage. That's a pretty good way to go. I've definitely done missions harder than this many, many moons ago when everyone died in one hit. I haven't seen that sort of difficulty recently. I can only presume they changed the numbers around a little bit, but plus 500 used to be one hit KO from even a bolt gun. For the assassin, at least. Okay. Now, maybe, if the guys have got time, we can put it up by another 150. Let's see what that was from our Irish friend, our assassin with a plan. Of course, not a lot of experience because we're the lowest in the group, but still 2,200's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Oh, we've even unlocked a new skill point as well. What can we spend that on? Now, realistically, again, guys, my damage could be a little bit up. Yep. Need to go up another subsector for anything higher. Yeah, let's do it, my friend. Let's go up a little bit higher then. Let's go crazy. If it's not doable, we tried. Moon, yeah. Moon surface was good. I mean, I think we could probably go for 600. We need to break the 500 barrier. Let's just go straight to 600. I think that's going to be doable. It's going to be painful, but I think it's going to be doable. It's just going to take a while. Just not an assassination. Maybe a demonic incursion. That might be a little bit more palatable. We'll see. We'll see what he comes up with. A moon surface, I think, would be really cool. I really like the idea of that. Indeed, we were set a challenge by one of the sort of forum users to try and do a plus 500 power level mission, which is why I want to skip straight to 600 in some respects, just to smash that. Although I do think it's going to be very, very, very painful. But we could definitely be playing more cautiously. We've been playing very, very gun-ho, so we could definitely take things back a couple steps. Yeah, just do it. Let's go 700. Why not? Let's just go 700. I don't think 700 will... Yeah, feck it. Do it. Let's just do it. I mean, the trouble is they're going to be coming out the gate so fast, it's going to be rough. But demons are some of the easier to kill because a lot of their units don't have suppression bars, which kind of helps a little bit. It just depends if we die in one hit before we can do any damage, then that's sort of the point where the mission becomes undoable, or if their regen is too high. It depends if we have any anti-regen via flaming attacks or poisons, which may be a necessity in order to kill some of the elites, but we'll see how we get on. It might work, it might not. Again, welcome to 4-man grouping. For me, this is where the game comes alive. For me, this is the type of game, this is the moments within this game that I find it enjoyable. Holy freaking cow, plus 700. Plus 700, that's freaking monkey nuts. Don't ignore these numbers. Ignore them. They're not even appropriate. Oh, this is going to be rough. I hope it's not on that planet again. I'd like a spaceship. I would really like a spaceship right now. Just because it'll be confined, you know, you've got a roof over your head. It's not a spaceship, of course. And if it's Rebel Guard, we've got problems. Oh my god, it's Rebel Guard. He jumped straight in there. Okay. That did not do enough damage. Okay. Okay, so looks like it will be doable. It's just going to take a little while. But we do have the stun lock available as well. Okay. Okay, this will be doable. This will be doable. It's just going to take a while. And we're going to do pop. I mean, Degs is taking loads of damage, but yeah, I think this is okay. This is okay. We can do some knockdowns. One of the things I'm slightly concerned with, though, is how much damage we're going to take. We've got knockdowns, though. We've got knockdowns. Right, and we've got high single target-ish damage. That's apparently not that feckin' high. Oh my god. Oh my god. Right, so we're going to do 3, we're going to do 2, and we're going to do a right click, see how much that does. Didn't get a crit. 3,000 damage does not do that much. But it's doable. I mean, this looks like it's going to take a while. Yeah, the bonus damage received caps at 99%. You are right, my friend. You are right indeed. 3, 2, right click again. Chunk. That is like an eighth of his health. And who was saying that Chaos Space Marines are too easy to kill? You just haven't played a hard difficulty yet. Jesus. Easy mode. Oh my god. Right, there we go. There we go. Let's oh my freaking god. This is going to be tough. I think if we're patient, I was really hoping this would be Nurgle demons because they're kind of easier to kite and work with, but look at our little tank over there kiting all of them for us, and our stun locking assassin, which I have to say is doing a very good job for the team right now. The stun locks really are sort of pretty useful, let's be honest. Oh my word. Perhaps if I stand in base contact, there you go, I can maximise my damage output. Definitely may need to use a few inoculators here. I'm not even sure if Degs is doing any damage to him. It's doable though. I said 500 is doable with, but basically it's 700. Nice job, my friends. Knockdown for them all. I like the AoE knockdown effect on that. I think that's a really good one. Finally we get a crit. That's kind of something you want. An ability that does freaking crits when it has stupid high damage. That's where I've seen this do 14,000 damage before, was with a crit build. Yeah, this is going to be slow. You guys may need to be patient here, but we're going to do it. Yeah, one of the tarot cards increases melee damage. One of the tarot cards increases their health by 100%. We've got a lot of different ones, and we've got a lot of new tarots to unlock. The thing is, with seasons, they're going to be introducing new tarots with every new subsector. So every new season, you're going to get new modifiers to play with, which is going to be interesting. So of course, the sort of stuff we've got at the moment will be expanded upon. Now, it's something to bear in mind as well, that the way the game's being portrayed is something that's going to be added to over a long period of time. Every single time we get a new season, you know, the level cap's going to go up by 20, 30, that's 20 more skill points, 30 more skill points. That is a lot by the time you go through 2 years worth of content. Then you've got DLCs and you've got other stuff. I mean, there is a lot to think about. A lot of games that haven't started as amazing ended up with a lot of content. Right. Okay, that is a nice knockback. Are we bringing them back? Let's bring them back. Bring them back to the turret. Do we have a turret here? No, we don't have a turret. Okay. Now this is going to take a while. Oh, health flying down. You see the basic enemy health is just not really moving that much. There we go. Slowly, slowly, slowly. We may need to do a little bit of kiting here. Right, let's finish that guy off. One ordinary mob. And has anyone got no suppression that I can finish? There we go. Worth actually finishing some of these guys. Oh my word. Oh my god. Yeah, I know. That dude was actually like a raid boss. That was just a space marine. Frickin' Astartes. Living up to his name though. Living up to the name. And it does look like, I have to say, my single target is not doing a lot of damage. So I really am here just for the occasional spike. But we're going to get there. I mean, this might take an hour, guys. This might take an hour. But we are going to do this. The problem is going to be when we come to points where enemies keep spawning. That's going to be where we get some real issues. Because that's going to be rough. Right, let's take some cover. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. There we go. Whew. Should we use the inoculator? I'm actually going to risk it. And there we go. Our team are starting to play a little bit smarter now. There we go. Oh, I just used my life-saving ability, and I think I actually just lost the life straight away as well. Right, there we go. We're cooking. We are actually cooking. Just need a lot more damage, basically. And we're not even at the point where they're coming out of demon gates yet. What we really need is something on the map that will do a static amount of damage, like traps. They're really, really useful for this sort of difficulty, because they do a static damage, so even if the mission's super, super difficult, you're going to get there. Oh, we got a man down. We did have a man down. Now, I don't know if they're spawning out of one of these gates here. I don't see one. I don't even know what's going on right now. I have to say, I don't know what's going on. Maybe I should be doing a little bit more stunning. Right, let's kill one at a time. Let's bring it back. Well, I mean, it's doable to do this mission difficulty. It's just going to require a lot of patience. I guess, though, if they push us back so far that we're at the beginning of the map, then we do kind of have a problem. Come on, Fowls. I need you to stop him. Come on, get that suppression down. You can do it, I believe. His suppression's not really moving, is it, guys? It's not really going down. I wonder if they have a huge amount of suppression resist, because I'm noticing this against the champions here. Right, let's freeze these guys. Neither of them are remotely near dead. Neither of them are remotely near dead. Right, we're going to freeze them for a little bit and finish this guy. Ugh, the best I can do is about 10% of his health. This is going to take a while. This is going to take a while, but we set ourselves a challenge and we're going to goddamn do it. We are going to frickin' do it. There we go. Right, Milamber's still going. Milamber is still going. I believe he's out there tanking them all. So this is like doing a heroic dungeon in WoW, I think. Even a standard mob requires a team effort to kill. Right, here we go. Here we go. Now we are clearly cooking. Let's knock these guys down. That knockdown is good, I tell you what. That knockdown is good. Oh my god, my health has been knocked down though. Let's get some cover. Let's get some cover. Stressful. Stressful, stressful. So, what else might be useful in this? A heavy bolter, I think. Get one of those weapons that does an extra percentage of damage per hit and just crank it up. I think that could be... I wonder if that caps. Has anyone even tested that? I mean, a heavy bolter's got, what, 300 rounds in the magazine? Can you even cap that up that far? I mean, that's something to think about. Let's knock those guys back. Okay, the suppression bar is going down. The health is also going down quite fast. But we can occasionally slow time at least. And we can do a little bit of cheeky stunning to buy us some time. Nice bit of damage, nice bit of damage. Let's go get some health back, see if we can save on actually using our inoculator right now. Okay, use our 3 ability, get us that extra life, swap weapon again. There we go. We're back. We're healthy-ish. That'll have to do. Yeah, stop killing your own cover. Tell me about it, my friend. It is not easy. It's not easy being this build. Not if you want to sit in cover anyway. Let's knock those guys down. Ouch. Right, that's another one dead. Oh my god. Okay, we'll knock those down. We'll knock those down. What we're going to do is we're going to do a drive-by. We're going to do a drive-by. We're going to slow time here for a second. Get ourselves healed back up. Try and join our team. Finish him. Oh my god, he's dead. We'll see if we can slow time again. I think we may need to do that for now. That may need to be our calling. There's just too goddamn many of them. Oh, okay, he broke them. He broke them. We're whistling them down though, aren't we? We really actually are. Let's knock those guys down. The knockdown ability on AoE, I tell you, the assassin is a really strong class just for this. I mean, you can really tailor a build to your liking. Absolutely, my friend. Remember the 5Ds. If ever there was a time I needed the 5Ds in this game, it is this. This is rough. This is rough, this is painful, and we've not even got to the good stuff yet. This is killing the pre-trash. This is the foreplay of the mission. Okay, let's get my buffs up. Get 2 and a 1 and a pow. And it wasn't even that much damage, was it? Let's be fair. Oh my word. At least the enemy damage hasn't gone up as much as one would expect. Right. Let's freeze them. Get our man out of there. You like that? You like that, didn't you? That little tactical freeze while our man runs away. Tactical, that was. That was tactical. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now the question is, are more of them coming than we can kill, or have we just pulled far too many at once? Because I have a feeling, I don't know who brought all of this upon us, but I can't help but feel that we didn't... How did we get this many mobs to kill at once? I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember mail ordering this. Look at that health going down. One gnat's piss at a time. Right, see how much we can do to him. A modest amount, I'd say. A modest amount. Oh, let's get some health back. Try and save our inoculators. We're down to 4. So what we're going to need is a tree to hug, and we killed the trees. RIP. Deforestation is officially my fault. Okay, let's freeze these guys. Now this lasts for quite a long time when you actually leave them to it and you're not damaging them. Okay, a little bit of damage going on there, but I can't really contribute much to people that have suppression, so might as well go back to clearing trash, because my main ability is just that. It's my main source of damage. I mean, this just tickles them, really. There we go. Popping one at a time. Not getting a huge amount of life back from it either, but there you go. And again, welcome to the stream, guys. Anyone that is new here, you know me, my name's Hydra. You know what we do? We mainly play Martyr. We're going to be doing some other 40k stuff coming up soon, of course. I've got some Necromunda bits as well for the tabletop to come out soon as well. Got some scenery stuff in the works. Lots to do, but mainly, of course, Martyr is my jam. And now we are doing an exceptionally difficult mission, plus 700 difficulty. I've never attempted something this difficult before, and it is proving to be a bit of a challenge. Right. And we're slowly whittling them down. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Oh my word, he says slowly as he's getting rolled. There we go, another kill. Knockbacks, I think, are definitely going to be the way forward in terms of doing difficult content in this game. Been pretty good with warp management so far. Warp heat, the Psyker has this beautiful ability to summon more enemies than you started a fight with. But I haven't actually summoned many yet, so that's always nice. It's always nice when you're not killing your own team, especially when you're doing a hard mission. The main reason for that is I'm getting 10% cooldown every time I use my main ability, so that's definitely something to think about. Now the question is, when we get to the warp gates, what strategy are we going to do? Are we going to have to rush them, or are we not? That is the real question. Now I think in terms of this build, would I and could I change it to do more single target damage? Probably yes. And given how much trash clearing sort of time is being taken, I think it would be really effective to focus just on trash clearing with this. So go at maximising the cooldown, making sure this is up as often as possible, leaving all the suppression damage to other people, just maximising this one ability's damage, I think is probably the way to go. I'm wondering if critical hit chance would be a better or more suitable option. Not entirely sure though. Right, now we are cooking. Okay, what we'll do is we'll freeze here. Yeah, we do have a steady stream of enemies coming, which I believe will be coming from the, well, unfortunately from the warp gates. So we're going to have to try and take down one of those fairly quick. Yeah, Augury, Constrict and Suicide Run maybe. I like your logic, but I have a feeling that that ability is just going to tickle them. I'm not expecting it to do enough to get anywhere. We'll have to see though. I mean, maybe. Oh, we're getting there slowly. Pow! There we go. One of our men has gone ahead to try and take down the trap. Try and take down the warp gate. Let's knock these guys down intermittently. I don't know if that's being useful or a hindrance right now. I think we can basically cast this ability on cooldown at the moment. Try and keep the fire shield up, because that just does just as much damage as I can deal. Right, take down the stragglers. We want to actually make sure we're finishing some of them. Right, are we going to be able to make it there? That's the real question. Looks like we're rushing the gate. We're rushing the gate. Oh, fucking hands on deck. Let's go. Let's go, boys. Mate, of course it's plus 700 difficulty. Okay, our unkillable Space Marine is here. Right, there we go, there we go. Can we do it? Let's knock them down. That is a lot of knockdown. Now we need to run. Now we definitely need to run. I believe the phrase is run, motherfucker. Run, motherfuckers? Well, if he wants to fight them, that's fine, but... Okay, I'm going to get some health back. I am going to get some health back. Okay, we're getting life back. Let's roll. Let's roll. This is just going to take too long to kill them, so what we're going to do is we're just going to rush the gates, I think. See if we can actually speed run a plus 700 difficulty map. Do we need to kill that? It's taking too damn long. Absolutely too damn long. Right, okay. That's a sorcerer. I'm going to let Malamba take aggro on that. Oh my word. Okay, let's knock this down. Looks like we're going to go for the kill here, which is always nice. Oh, we're getting some frame drops, boys. getting the frame drops now. Oh. Oh, I think my computer's going crazy. Is that what I think it is? Uh-oh. That's a lot of freaking dudes. Okay, we'll go back to helping now. Okay, knock them down. Slowly push the enemy back. I think we've just got to push through them. Yeah, fire does solve a lot of problems, that's for sure. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They're coming. Which way are they coming? Incoming! Right. Oh, we killed a load in one go. Let's oh my word. Oh, just so many headaches right here. I'm just trying to keep some sort of life going. I think the game is just doesn't know what to think right now. Right, okay, we're rushing. Let's freeze those. Oh, that is a useful move to do. That is a damn useful move to do. We're going to need another one in a sec. We've still got our spare life. Another one of those. Oh, yeah, that's what we need. That is definitely what we need. Let me go. Back, beasts. I'm looking forward to the system where you can actually push through enemies. Excuse me. I'd like to get through here. Excuse me. Not got any inoculators left. Oh, Ripperino. Oh no, I do. I do have inoculators left. Right. Let's stun these. Right. How much health is left? Okay. And we've got one more to kill after this. One more. One more of those abilities will do it. Okay. We've got this one. Right. Now, in the words of my favourite little girl, run, motherfuckers! Stressful. Anyone else finding this stressful? Okay, so the way to do this is exactly the same as the lower level missions. Run through the mobs and do the objectives. Oh, it's a giant mob boss spawning graphical bug thingy. Oh, it used my ability. Ah, okay, my passive has been used. And now we've got all sorts of fucking graphical artifacts going on. I think we've broken it, boys. Basic mobs of... Oh, my word. It looks so ugly. Oh, we got extra inoculators too. Okay, let's freeze them here. Man, that looks trippy, doesn't it? That looks so freaking trippy. Okay. We've still got our spare life as well. We've still got the spare life. Do a knockdown there. Keep everyone alive. If they... Oh, they've taken off my inoculator. They've taken off everything. They've taken the women and children. Let's get that 3 ability cast again. Oh, I don't have it off a cooldown. I'm a graphical artifact as well. I'm a graphical artifact. Let's get out. Let's get out. I'm calling that a day there. Oh my word. Get out. Don't let me die first, you dicks. Press yes, you dicks. Oh my god, who does that? Seriously, who does that? Well, guys, it's possible. Plus 700 difficulty. Would I say difficult? Time consuming, yes. Stressful, yes. Difficult, yes. Good fun, though. Really good fun. Was it worth it for 12 fate? God, no. I could have done 8 missions in that time. Good lord, yeah. The Dutch and their bloody chests. They just want to find gold anywhere they go. Guys that are in the game, I thank you very much for partying with me. I thank you very much for helping me out, but I am going to have to call it a day there. That was just a little bit more than my body can handle. But that was fun. I tell you, next time, maybe we could try and do plus 1,000 once we've got all of our gear, all of, you know, everything maxed out. Yeah, Harmon, we know you're a Crusader. You can cope with anything. We know, we know. For us Psykers, we can still die, you know. Yeah. Fiery Soul on the tank. Yeah, to be honest, I will probably muck around with finding some other builds. Fiery Shield is, you know, that is a great ability. It does loads and loads of damage. Fiery Form is super good because of all of the extra tick damage it does AoE, and the fact that next time, next time a Heavy Flamer would help too. Next time I'll probably go with a buff build, but we'll see, because I do also think that Constrict is incredibly useful for that. Just the amount of damage it pumps out is absolutely ginormous. But yes, the tank is in there all the time. The difficulty will be maintaining that buff on the tank, because you have to cast it, or you only cast it on the nearest ally, so you'll have to keep getting him back to you in order to apply the buff, to go back in, to apply the buff. It's not going to be easy, is all I'm saying. The hemorrhage, how much did it do in that? I don't know. The knockback, I think, is very useful. The knockback is very, very useful if you apply it to the skill, because all standard mobs, even if they're difficult, knockback very, very nice. Now, Fonzarelli, what is the thing at the bottom? The thing at the bottom is, or hasn't been fully implemented yet, but I'd like to go to Neocore, and I'm going to be honest with you. I've not got a lot of money this time of year, and if I am going to be able to go, I can't sort of just pull money off of the credit card. It's already maxed. I'm not after, this isn't a sob story, but if anyone wants to help me go, that's what it's for. The reason I put it there is at the request of Doc Doolittle, who wanted to contribute something to help me go. So the money down there is sort of a contribution from some Patreons thus far, but it's hopefully just going to get me a plane ticket to Budapest so I can have a chat with Neocore in person, do like a developer stream in person with them as well. Meet them, do some videos over there, get some actual face-to-face time and interviews with them as well. That's my plan anyway. That's my plan. So if anyone does want to contribute, obviously we got the Patreon rolling each month. I will be looking into getting a PayPal and some Twitch alerts going, just if anyone wants to give $1 or whatever to help support. But honestly, nothing's going to be behind a paywall. I will do some Patreon stuff and playthroughs, but I'm not going to be hiding anything behind paywalls. It's there if you want it. Enjoy it if you want. Don't give, do give. Completely up to you. That's how it is. But anyway, guys, that's probably a good note to finish on there. So, guys and girls, it's been fun. Plus 700 difficulty. Okay, we're rounding up by 12, but that was good. Have yourselves a great day, and I will see you soon. And pray to God that we get the damn roadmap tomorrow. I mean, please, Neocore. Guys, if you're going to do anything tonight, go in the Steam forum, go on the thread that says developer stream ? And just keep pressuring them. The thing is, Megapol wants a stream too. They all want streams. We want streams. It's just a case of timetabling right now. But at least we can get the roadmap perhaps first. Take care, guys. Take care, and I'll see you next time.